I'm Sara Whyman.
And I'm Phil Whyman.
Between us, we have investigated countless locations in our search for proof of the paranormal.
We are invited to question the unexplained, to uncover what may be lurking in the shadows. With many reported hauntings throughout the UK, no two investigations are the same. Now, together with a team of experienced investigators, we continue to seek evidence to prove whether a haunting can be validated or not.
From a selection of cases we each receive, we will come together to pick the most interesting and ask the question:
Are you haunted?
So this time I've got a haunted hall. Now this is a private residence and it's never been investigated, so I'm quite excited about it.
Okay, so this time I'm bringing a haunted library to the table. It's based in the East Midlands, and reputedly books are known to fall from the shelves on their own.
Okay, we've been given another venue to investigate, and it's another pub. So, will the others want to do this one? Let's see. Okay, 3 different venues, 3 very interesting venues, but who wants to do what? Tim?
I'm going to say a haunted hall, do like a big house in the first place, and the fact it's private residence makes it a bit better as well. So, uninvestigated, haunted hall.
Good choice, good choice. Jane?
Ooh, decisions. Haunted hall.
Oh, that's 2 for the haunted hall, 2 quick decisions there. Ben?
Library.
Ben? Why do you want the library?
Because haunted house is just the normal thing, isn't it? Library's
okay.
more interesting.
Okay, but you've got a legacy here with me and your mum, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to do
Wait a minute, do you not want to do the library? Are you swaying his decision here?
No, I just want to know why you want to do why do you want to do the library?
Would you prefer if we did the hall?
What do you want? Right, okay. Ben, what do you want to choose?
Library.
Right, okay.
Sake! Jesus! Right, Dale.
I was going to choose the library because it's my venue, but the haunted hall is such a much better place, so I'm going to go for the hall.
While I'm on a roll, Dale, you've chosen to go against your choice that you brought to the table.
Yes.
Right. All that says to me and everybody watching is that you are crap at choosing venues to bring to the table.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, it's not that. It's just the hall is such a great location. That's the only reason I've gone over my own location.
It's better than the library.
I'll go for the inn.
It is.
Sarah.
Hello.
Hello. What would you like to do?
Darling. I did actually want to go for the library. No, I didn't. I'll do the hall. Let's go to the hall. Sounds ace.
Okay. And I am going to go for I'm actually going to go for the Haunted Hall because it is a really interesting venue. It's a private property, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the Hall.
Was it yours?
This, no. Whose was this? Yes. It was Jane's. So, looks like we're going to spend the night in a Haunted Hall. Apart from Ben and Dale.
No, I want the hall. He wants the library.
Haunted Hall it is.
Library.
Hall. Jane's venue sees the Are You Haunted team heading north, where a very interesting and historical private residence awaits our investigation.
My name's Mark Asquith. I've lived in the house for 14 years. The house was built in 1789, although I gather there's an older wing which I'm told was built in the 1600s. The house was remodelled a lot in the 1950s. There's been lots of stories about people staying in the house, people dying in the house. Cromwell apparently stayed on the site before the Battle of Marston Moor. To me, it's a big old friendly house.
Adderley Hall has numerous rooms to investigate. To our surprise, we are met with a rather surreal sight, as owner Mark explains.
My partner and I love Halloween. This year we've had a Halloween party. We had a charity event as well. We had about 100 people in for that. It's going to take a while to take it back down, but we like ghouls, zombies, witches. A lot of them are home crafted. In the 1990s, there's a builder and his family lived in the house. So today I met the daughter and the lady that lived in the house for 12 years. So the daughter is absolutely adamant that when the family used they called it the den, the little snug room, they'd all be in the room and they would see a figure. Some of them, not all of them, would see a figure walking past the window, always in the same direction. They'd go out of the room, there's nothing there, and she saw it hundreds of times. A shadow walking past the door, inexplicably. So even when the curtains are shut, so it's not as if it's a light from outside. No noise, just a figure passing the doorway. Now the other sister who I haven't met slept in what we call our plum room upstairs, and she is adamant that she would go to the door to go out the room, knowing that the door was loose, but she couldn't open the door as if something or somebody was pulling the door from the other side. She could go back out to the door through her bathroom onto the landing, and there would be nobody there. And she'd go downstairs, ask, has somebody been upstairs messing about? And nobody had been upstairs messing about. And that happened lots of times. So it got to the point where she wouldn't go in the room on her own.
Mark had some information concerning some of the previous residents who lived at Adderley Hall, including a rather sad story about an old lady.
There is a story, which I can't corroborate personally, but there's a story of a ghost in the house called Piggytail Davison. There's a really cantankerous old man who lived there in the 20s, 30s. His ghost is supposed to haunt the house. There's also a true story of a lady that lived in the house for 30 years. An elderly lady, quite well off, but she was fleeced by an Italian musician. And he just took all the money until she was penniless. She died in the house, and the house had to be sold after her death to pay for her death duties. So there's rumours that her ghost haunts the house.
Good evening, guys. Here we are in today's investigation venue, slightly different from all the other ones we've done in the previous episodes, because this is someone's house. Brilliant history, fascinating building. We're very privileged to be here. I think the person to tell us a little bit more about it is Jane.
Yes, so we're in a village called West Hadlesey, which is just outside York. It's named in the Domesday Book. The village is really historic. It's got links to the Templars. This house is called Hadlesey House. There was a building here from 1600 and something, because Cromwell stayed here before he went to the Battle of Marston. And then this building's been here since about 1760 something. One family's owned it for about 150 years. They're the Davisons. A lot of the hauntings that Mark spoke about are to do with that family.
Right.
And we also had Bill Nelson, who is a famous pop star, rock star, and music writer.
From Bebop Deluxe.
Yeah,
fame.
that's the one.
Right,
That's the
okay.
one. So he lived here for about 15 years. The Rolling Stones stayed here, did some recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kid Creole, without his coconuts, I'm told.
Oh,
Flock of Seagulls. Nick Cave.
and he had a photograph of that.
Exactly. A whole myriad of famous people have stayed here over the years. Bill's still alive. He's from Wakefield. Wrote fondly of this place. He's got diaries that tell you all about it. On top of what Mark had told us, there's also another instance from a lady who was a postmistress here. She used to babysit and come up here. Hated the house.
Wow.
Hated it. She said that she could see eyeballs looking back at her through the mirrors when she was walking around. She felt as if she were being followed all the time. Just completely creeped her out. When you speak to people, it's generally the women that have had the weirdest experiences here.
Right.
But yeah, quite a lot happened over the years.
Who's this Piggy-tailed Davison? Because from what I hear, he's not a very nice person.
Oh no, he's recorded as being quite a nasty man.
Right.
From the same Davison family that we mentioned earlier. And it's his granddaughter who is the lady who sold everything to look after this Italian musician who left her. He sort of left her in the house on her own. She died alone. He had no sympathy for her whatsoever, and he's supposed to roam around here. Wasn't very nice.
And he's one of the ghosts.
Yes.
Excellent.
Reputedly.
So locally, the house is quite renowned, isn't it, for being
Oh yeah,
a haunted
yeah,
house?
yeah.
in the
As I say, done quite a bit of research now, and there's quite a few books you can get on it. Quite a lot of history. The actual village itself has got a historical society. They keep lots of documents, but the history just goes back forever. You can just keep peeling back the layers on it.
Right. Okay. So this old lady then that died penniless at the hands of her Italian lover.
Yeah.
Is she seen around here? Is she connected to the ghosts that haunt here, or?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Quite probably there is reportings of somebody wandering about, and if you'd been left all alone when your lover had returned to Italy, she's probably the one that's wandering about looking for him.
Okay, so there we go.
Is it time to turn out the lights?
It's time to turn out the lights.
Right, okay. We are going. You've got a radio, yeah?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's here.
Okay. So it's first vigil. Myself and Ben are up in what used to be the servants' quarters. So it's quite cold up here. No warm fires for us.
Hence the giant coots.
Yes. Can't see anything, it's literally pitch black, so I'm relying on the screen. Yeah, it's just like a shower room and bathroom area. Interestingly enough, there's a little window that kind of goes into the outside corridor. There's Ben. Over there, there's another room, and then that way, there's another room to the end.
So here we are, Tim and myself, in the kitchen area of Hadlesey Hall, and we're monitoring the CCTV hub at the moment. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, on the top left we have upstairs shot looking into one of the rooms which used to be the servants' areas. Top right we have an overhead shot of the living room area, big area that one. Bottom left, as we look at it on the screen, is a shot of the plum room, where it's been reported that the door was seemingly held by unseen hands, and also that there was an apparition seen walking through the wall. And bottom right, as we look at it, this is looking out into the corridor between the two rooms, where there used to be a figure seen walking from right to left, as we look at it.
Just up here.
Towards the kitchen, into the kitchen.
They'll be coming to see us.
So as we discuss that and tell you where that is, it's just literally just there through this corridor. So if anything comes here, we'll be the first to know.
If it does make an appearance tonight, it'll be walking towards our way. So yes.
I think there's plenty of room under the table for us both to duck.
All I know is I know where my car keys are.
Just what you need to see.
So, we're in the plum room. And how fabulous is this room?
It is really, really nice.
Alongside the rest of the house,
Like I said, it's a
which is absolutely stunning.
beautiful place.
Yes.
There's reports of a figure going through the wall. We don't know which wall it comes through though. But the story being that there used to be 3 girls lived, slept in this bedroom, and the girl who was terrified and had all the experiences with the door and the figure wouldn't sleep in here if the other 2 weren't here at all. She was absolutely petrified.
So, traffic noise. You might have caught that on the camera just there.
That's loud. Moving your feet then, isn't it?
Hmm?
You moved your foot then, didn't you?
No.
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 How many times? No, I didn't move my foot.
Well, that sounded like you moved your foot.
I didn't. I promise I did not move my foot.
Someone just moved by our feet.
Camera just there. Camera just there. It's not a cat, is it?
No, cat's not out.
What do you mean?
I didn't feel it, I heard it.
I didn't move my foot.
Jeez. Well, the investigators have a bloody field day with that lot.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's absolutely loads, and that's a very active room.
Yeah, we're just looking at bottom left, which is the plum room. And there's lots of light anomalies, which a lot of people would be making a big deal out of, saying, oh, it's spirit orbs. It's not, it's just dust.
A lot of dust.
Yeah, a lot of dust.
No.
Put up some notes downstairs.
Okay.
Tim, are you moving around downstairs?
What have you got, Sarah?
Hello? Is there anybody in this room with us?
Nobody noticed the strange warbling sounds at the time we were filming. Listen again as we play back the clip.
Hello? Hello? Is there anybody in this room with us?
Why does Dale keep shining his torch? Dale or Jane?
Yeah.
Has Dale got his torch on?
No.
No.
I wonder if it's her aiming the night vision round on the camera.
Just move your night vision camera around.
Which one of us?
Right. Take it in turns. You first, Jane.
Whoever's on the bed.
Move yours towards the door, Jane.
Well, shit.
So I can see the beam of it on the door.
Not like that, Dale, you dipstick.
That's it, that. What's that beam? It's the bloody night vision light.
Right, it's the night vision on the Canon camera. It's okay.
Okay.
No, that's Jane's
Problem
camera.
you've
That's my
got.
camera.
Oh no, that's
Dale's here with yours.
Ah, right, okay.
Ask Dale to move in.
Dale, move your camera.
Yeah, there you go, that's Dale.
Yeah, it's Jane's night vision camera. You might want to turn that down. There's 3 sources of infrared light in that room. Don't forget.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought she was flashing a bloody torch about. It's just that light's more powerful than you think.
That was weird.
The light off on mine, so I'm just working off the camera one now.
It felt like someone touched my arm. Like, very gentle. On my coat, I felt my coat pushing.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anybody here that used to live here in this building? Live here in this building? In this building? If you are here, is there something that you can do to let us know?
I'm just going to see if I can open the door. Yeah.
That's a shame.
I know.
Let us know that you're here. What the? Jesus, what's he doing? Is that Dale? It must be. Hang on. Oh, he's here. That'll come from the other way. Dale, just do that movement that you've just done in the last 20 seconds with your camera again. Try and do it exactly as you're saying. A bloody line, wasn't it? Keep turning your camera to the left. Keep going. Keep going with it. Now bring it back again slowly. Weird that was. I wonder if it's because of when Jane was walking in. No, because she was still out of shot at that point. Okay, cheers. Just something weird came up on the screen. What was it?
Weird how?
Like a long streak of light kind of thing. From the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, and it kind of moved from left to right, but I'm trying to work out whether it was Dale's camera somehow casting a kind of glare on the screen from the camera lens.
Okay.
You trying it again?
Just doing it again just to see if it can replicate it.
Jane's only got the night vision on the camera on that, she's turned the other one off. So it wouldn't glare as much as normal. It's not doing it.
Interesting.
Unless it's one of those kind of phenomena where you need it to be exactly in the same position.
Possibly.
The art of conversation is dead, Jane.
Oh, it's higher up there. I thought it was. Stomach.
Not my stomach.
It wasn't my stomach. I thought it was. Stomach.
Not my
I thought it
stomach.
was. Stomach.
Not my stomach.
It wasn't mine. I thought that was your stomach.
No.
Well then.
Well, what did it sound like? Definitely not my stomach.
Sounded like it came from that direction. No, your way. Maybe through the gap.
Great. Small ghostly child with voice next
God,
to me.
those legs then scared me.
Really?
I thought this one was stood there. Well, like in the distance kind of thing.
What, very skinny person.
I love it when they talk at the same time.
Look at the banks at the top of the stairs there.
What's that?
Yeah, well, it's none of us.
What's that?
What?
Did you not hear that rattling?
Having watched back the CCTV footage, we just had to try and replicate the anomaly we had captured earlier.
Okay, so
So we have one of Sarah's hair.
one of my hairs, but just to eliminate, I'm sacrificing a hair.
Put it against your sleeve again so I can see it.
Can you see? You probably can. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can, you
Can you
can,
see
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go and put this across the lens of the camera upstairs,
Yeah.
just to maybe eliminate that it's something like a hair or maybe a cobweb that's going across. Don't trip on the thing.
Yeah, watch the camera.
Right, I'm going to do it now.
Oh, it's too strong. Too strong. No, it's too strong. The line we had originally was a lot fainter.
Try it further away.
Further away,
Try it further away.
Okay. Here goes. Try not to get my hand in the shot.
You can see the hair on this.
Can you?
Yeah.
No.
Come on, bring it a bit closer, a little bit
Bring
closer.
it a bit closer, Sarah.
And lower down a little bit.
And then lower it down.
Okay, one sec. Right, I'm going to try and swap hands.
Alright.
This is really difficult. I can't actually see my hair. I hope it's still in your hand.
Yeah.
I can see it.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's so the hair's too thin.
It's too thin. You say it's too thin?
It's not ethereal enough.
Yeah.
If it was a cobweb, I suppose it would be as dense, would it?
It's as though the hair is too dense. When you look at the original footage, it seems a lot thicker, but a lot more see-through compared to the hair. The hair is quite thin comparatively.
Okay, so what about if I put it right against the lens so that it's kind of out of focus, so it makes it sort of blur a little bit? Shall we try that?
Yeah, give it a try.
Have I still got it in my hand? Yes, I have.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
it.
but if it's right against the lens, it might come differently on the video.
It's
No, it
too much infrared.
it shows up really brightly because it's affecting the infrared too much.
Okay, that's hair elimination.
I thought it looked
Just
good.
going to check the room now for light cobwebs. Dropping my hair.
See if you can see anything.
Right, give us that. Whoa, you're blinding me.
Sorry.
I said I thought it looked. It was when the hair was further away.
Yeah, that looked like
It looked a
Bit
bit similar.
like it, yeah.
No.
But it seems too thin. If you look at the playback, the image on screen's like that thick. You know what I mean?
and it covers the entire screen.
Anything at all, nothing.
So Sarah and Jane are going to be on the hub. Myself and Mr. Ben are going to the living room, and Phil and Mr. Dale are going to the ballroom. So into the living room, straight through the big massive door, and you're going to have some fun.
So this is myself and Dale over there, and we are in the ballroom.
Okay. Here we are. Anybody with any spirits here? Or anybody that wants to come show themselves, come forward to us. Is Miss Davison here? Or Piggytail Davison? come forward to us. Anybody else? Anybody that resides in this building?
Are you about, Miss Davison? Do you want to come and have a cup of tea with us?
Come and have a brew.
Yeah, a little bit of company for you. You were on your own for ages.
It's a big house to be in on your own.
Quite welcome. It's just us two ladies.
Here we are in the year 2018, Piggy Tales, and we're still hearing about you in the past when you was a nasty so-and-so. If you're still a nasty so-and-so that's still about in this house, come and do something. Come and bang on a window, bang on a door, tap us on the shoulder, make a noise in the kitchen. Anything you can do, Piggy Tales.
Can you try and talk to us? Can you walk around so that we can hear your footsteps?
Do something that we know is you because we're perfectly still. There was that walking about. Did you hear that? Footsteps? Still. Still. There was that. Anyone walking about? I just heard like 3 footsteps, sounded like there's on like a solid floor, not rather than carpet.
How long ago, Tim?
Probably within the last 30-40 seconds.
Did it sound like this, asking?
Did it sound like this?
I've just heard nothing.
Well, Phil's just done exactly the same as he did about that time ago. He's going to do it again in a second.
I can't hear that. No, the one... I've just heard nothing then, but what I heard had a little bit of an echo to them.
Well, ironically, I just asked out and said, if there's somebody here, can you walk around so that we can hear your footsteps?
Aye. We'll call out again and say thank you, Tim heard him. I definitely heard 3 steps though. Okay. Okay, me and Ben are just heading upstairs, so if you hear any footsteps.
Yeah, watch out.
I was saying, glad I didn't carry on trying to walk in there, I'd have wrecked something. Alright.
Miss Davison, are you here? We heard that you had to sell all your furniture and send the money to Italy, and that you were probably scammed out of all that money and you ended up having to be thrown out of this house. Are you here?
Oh yeah, can we just check those footsteps that you heard a few minutes ago? Was there anybody upstairs at that time?
No.
Oh. I thought they were the same ones. Oh, that's interesting, thank you. But sort of 2 or 3, I thought somebody was on the landing. I heard something really, really faint and said to Sarah as well, so that's very interesting. Thanks for that.
Yes, Tom. We just go upstairs.
Yeah, good to have some clarification there, cheers. Yeah, me and Ben was in the living room, Phil and Dale were in the ballroom, they're still there now, and Jane and Sara are in the kitchen watching the CCTV.
That was directly Woodward.
Was it Woodward?
Yeah.
What?
Did you hear it? Like a woman's moan.
No. What?
Did you hear it? Like a woman's moan.
No. Third vigil, and I have decided to stay in the living room, and I'm by the fire, which is pretty nice. So this is the room, which is the big sort of hall, which has a lot of the Halloween decorations. So as I'm scanning round, and I can see in the night shot, keep capturing sort of figures and skulls and what have you. So it's all pretty cool.
So I'm in what was this snug. Now, one of the old families that lived in here used to use this room as a living room because it was warmer. And the door, you can't actually tell today, but it's got glass panels on it. And several times, well, hundreds of times, a figure was seen walking by from right to left towards the kitchen.
But it's just Tim and myself in one of the back bedrooms, and we're going to see what happens in here. So is anyone here with us in this bedroom with Tim and myself? Can you come forward? Can you give us an indication that you're here?
What?
Guys, are you outside the room? Is the door open or closed? A massive shadow's just gone along the middle landing, like a person's shadow, but like a really big one.
Oh, I'm in the front room, the door's open and I'm near the door because I've been scanning around the table to see what they can see. So, yeah, if Phil's got the torch aiming out, then you will see my shadow like I'm doing now.
Yeah, it's you.
Okay, we've just finished the Haddersley Hall investigation, as you know, and here is Sara with the summary and the clips of what happened to get your opinions on.
Yep, I've been going through all the footage and I've sort of picked out what I feel is the best, most prominent parts of what happened. So quite a few clips to get through. So to start off with, there's one for me and you, Ben. If you remember, we took the first vigil upstairs in the servants' quarters.
Is there anybody here that used to live here in this building?
Now, at the time we didn't hear that, but obviously when I'm going back through the footage and reviewing everything, I tend to wear the headphones, so you do pick up a lot of noises that you wouldn't normally hear anyway. So, yeah. But
it sounds like someone in the hallway or something, doesn't it?
I just don't know. I can't even sort of put a pinpoint on whereabouts it came from. But
it's definitely a vocal noise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely vocal, but I don't know. So following on from that, and we stayed in that area, like I said, for the first vigil. It got several different rooms, and then we went up the stairs into the attic area, and I've got this next clip from there.
I love it when they talk at the same time.
Now come back at the top of the stairs there.
What's that?
Yeah, well, it's not us.
The louder noise is Ben's coat.
Yeah.
But the bit before that.
I'm not sure, and you didn't hear it at the time, which is really unusual because I was full of cold that night, so my hearing wasn't brilliant.
And I've got super hearing.
You've got super power hearing.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, if you remember up in the attic space, it was just completely full of like Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
And it was just rammed from the floor to the ceiling with like Christmas trees and all kinds of Christmas paraphernalia. So it did sound like something actually in that room over to my right hand side where we were sat on the steps. So again, I just don't know what that was. Okay, so I think the most unusual thing, certainly for me, in my opinion, that happened on that evening was what you, Phil and Tim saw while you were monitoring the CCTV.
I remember that.
And we've sort of, as you've seen in the episode, we've tried to recreate as much as what we possibly can to get this thing to happen again, and we can't. So I'm going to play it and see what you think from both cameras.
Dale, just do that movement that you've just done in the last 20 seconds with the camera again. Try and do it exactly as you say. Keep turning your camera to the left. Keep going. Keep going with it. Now bring it back again slowly. Okay, cheers.
What was it?
Weird how.
Like a long streak of light kind of thing. From the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, and it kind of...
So, it's a really strange one.
Yeah.
And we did try, we even got to the point when I was plucking out my hair out to sort of like dangle it in
Yeah,
front of
we
the...
tried everything to try and recreate.
Initially thought it was something to do with the mirrors reflecting off
Yeah.
each other, but
Yeah.
we couldn't.
We were looking at lights, mirrors.
Yeah, we couldn't replicate it at all. So
It's just such, it's the way that it moves as well, and you pointed out this to me when we were going back through the footage. It seems to sort of go like that and then in and then back. It's just a really...
Yeah, it's not a steady flowing.
No.
It's kind of all over the place,
it
isn't
undulates.
I was just going to say undulate.
Yeah. Not saying that it is paranormal.
No,
obviously, but we don't know what it is at the minute. It's unexplained. Regardless of whether we tried to replicate it or not, we couldn't do it.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's like you can't say, oh yeah, that's genuinely that we've captured a spirit on camera, but no, we can't say that.
We have to say that kind of anomaly is the first time we've had that on camera.
Yes.
And we've used these cameras for many investigations in many scenarios, in rooms with mirrors, with rooms with windows, and we've not had the similar thing at all on anything.
I was thinking when we tried it again, like, is it a cobweb? And we went in the room and there was just no sign of any cobwebs.
We scoured the whole room for anything that could have caused it.
Okay, next one's for you, Tim.
Alright.
If you remember, you and Ben spent a little bit of time in front of the fire, which was a very lovely sitting room.
Yeah.
And you heard some footsteps coming from above.
Do something that we know is you because we're perfectly still. There was that walking about. Did you hear that? Footsteps?
Wow.
Footsteps.
That's quite clear.
They were
really clear.
Yeah.
Nice and clear.
Before we were talking, was there footsteps as well?
Didn't we hear those upstairs and then I think we heard them and then...
I think it was the main theme of the night. Well, footsteps and knocks for that
knocks
night, wasn't
and
it?
such like, yeah.
A lot of footsteps. And interestingly, because we were obviously in somebody's home, and Mark that owns the house, he was there with his other half, and they were in the bedroom. We gave them a walkie and said, you know, if you need us, just give us a message on the radio. But very good of them. They just went and sat and watched a horror movie, I believe. They were watching the TV while we were just getting on with it in their house. And this next clip is from Mark, so...
Are you here?
Oh yeah, can we just check those footsteps that you heard a few minutes ago? Was there anybody upstairs at that time?
No.
Oh. Better thought they were the same ones.
Oh, that's interesting, thank you.
But sort of 2 or 3, I thought somebody was on the landing.
it just kind of clarifies for me that it wasn't him that was moving around either.
Yeah, he said the same 2 or 3 footsteps, which is
Yeah.
exactly what we heard just then.
He was as surprised as we was, I think.
Okay, Jane, me and you in the hub. I think we went on the second vigil manning the hub, so a couple of things from us.
That was directly above us.
Was it above us?
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about that is that nobody was above us because that is the servants' quarters area. So there was nobody in that area at that time. So again, another very clear knock
Very clear,
that
yeah.
we got. And a little bit later, on the same vigil, me and you, Jane,
What?
Did you hear it? Like a woman's moan.
No, I didn't hear it at the time.
I'm glad it's on camera now. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you think, I
It's
don't
great that
imagine that.
the camera picked it up.
Did you
It's
hear it?
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can quite clearly hear it.
It was
on the
definitely
footage.
clear enough, yeah.
Yeah. So all in all, I think an interesting time. But what do you all think, Tim?
Yeah. It's a funny one because there's little bits, but again in different locations. I think, if permitted, I'd love to go back again and just go and sort of reassess. But with the little things that did happen, and especially that whatever you can even try and name it that was caught on the cameras, I like to think, yes, there's something there. It's just God knows what the hell it is.
Dale?
Yeah, I'm with Tim on that. I think it needs more. I think we need to go back again if we could, if the opportunity ever arose. And as Tim says, that light anomaly on camera just can't be explained.
Okay. Phil?
I'm not too convinced, if I'm totally honest. I don't think, for me anyway, not an awful lot happened. We go back to that anomaly we caught on the screen. We can't say it's paranormal, we can't say it's not, so I'm not prepared to commit on that. At the minute I'm on the fence with it, so.
Okay. What do you think, Ben?
Honestly, not really, no. Nothing really happened to me, I don't think, and it's only small things that have been picked up, like footsteps and bangs, whereas other places we've seen figures and stuff, so it's just like more, I don't know, maybe a little bit more investigation on it, but...
What do you think, Jane?
Well, I think it's to the fact that what we've got to remember is it's never been investigated before as well. So I don't know if people going in there stirs things up eventually. Historically, there's reports of figures, etc., etc. So there is a lot of history of haunting. Yes, it wasn't the most active night we've ever had, but I think there is something there.
Having gone through the footage and picking up bits and pieces that we didn't hear at the time, that's not swaying me, I'm afraid. I think that there's probably... sometimes you could rationally explain some of those noises. So for me, I'm going to agree with all of you and just sit on the fence with regards to Hadley.